That's awesome!
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon, sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I have to do it myself.
What up, everybody? My name is the Osnator. Welcome back to the channel, and what a surprise, another not wrestling stream. Today we are talking Cobra Kai Season 5. Yes, it's finally come out. We've all finally seen it. I've seen it in one full day. I got up at 7 o'clock for class. Before I did, watched an episode of Cobra Kai, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. And then after I finished up my class, I'm like, yep, binging all of it. And I'm gonna give my thoughts on it, just like everybody else on the panel is gonna talk about it. Guys, go around the panel, tell everybody where they can find themselves at while I share out the stream. Ninjoid, you go first.
All right, you guys can personally find out. Well, you can personally find my channel Ninjoid243. There's a lot of content. No, that would be a lie. There's some content coming out on there. After all, Ninjago Crystallized is actually all going to be dropping within just 2 more weeks, and all the episodes will be out. So,
yeah, plus we have a very important live stream to do on your channel very soon.
Oh yeah, we have a very important YouTube channel video. It's so important to the Ninjoid 243 Incorporation over there. You know, we are going to be reviewing the best movie of all time, Thomas.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say the name. You're right, ruined it.
Said it. It's Thomas and the fucking Magic Railroad, the best movie of all time. Just let you know, everyone, I was being sarcastic. Now it's
this guy literally had us all
sarcasm. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to do that because I did that on my Thor Love and Thunder video where I was like, I'm being sarcastic. Sarcasm! But anyway,
rest in peace to the microphone, to the people wearing headphones.
I know, right?
Anyway, go check out my YouTube channel where we will be reviewing that lovely piece of shit abomination. You know, it's gonna be so fun. But anyway, go check out that. Also, I'm planning on doing some other videos and all that. I do have a Luke Skywalker tribute actually coming out later on in probably 11. The tribute will be out. So if you guys like some tributes, tribute videos that are actually good, unlike someone else, please go do it, you know. Hint, I'm calling out someone right now.
And we're just gonna cut you off right there. Dylan, where can they find you at?
You guys can not only find me on the Oscillator's channel when he's not doing a wrestling stream, you can never find me again on Ninjoid243's channel after we do that next stream. You can also find me on my own channel, Dylan's Little Hobbies, where I have been slowly getting back into making YouTube videos. I recently just reviewed the first half of Season 5 on my own channel. You guys can go ahead and check that out. I mean, I'm still going to give my thoughts here and there, but I did really go into detail, at least for the first 5 episodes there, so I'll save some of that for that video. You guys can go check that out on my channel. It's live right now. I will also be reviewing I already reviewed it. I just have to finish editing and get it uploaded. Obviously, should be uploaded by the end of this week. The later half of season 5 of Cobra Kai. So if you guys really want to know my personal thoughts on the whole season, I'll tell you what I like here too. But if you guys want to really know my personal thoughts, go ahead and check out those 2 videos on my own YouTube channel. Thanks for having me on, the Austin there.
No problem. Always a joy to have you guys on. All right, so because the season is new, and unlike the seasons 2, 3, and 4 reviews, because they're much older, what I'm going to do, because it's a newer season, we're of course going to still do the overall thoughts, positives, negatives, final grades, whatnot. What I'm going to do is for the overall thoughts, it is actually going to be non-spoiler.
Okay.
So, so for overall thoughts, just give like what you thought of the season. Don't
Yep,
go
makes
into like
sense.
spoiler territory. Just say like maybe what. Just give like just your basic thoughts on it, you know, type of
Okay.
thing. So, and then I'll let everybody know when we're going into positives and negatives. So, Ninja, you can go first. What are your non-spoiler overall thoughts?
Okay. Serious Ninja now. I really loved this season overall. The character development in this season is outstanding. The action choreography is outstanding. I just enjoyed the entire story, and my overall thoughts. I think this is my second favorite season of the show. So that's my quick thoughts, Austin.
Damn, you went really quick. Shit.
Yeah, I thought you'd go in not total detail, but I thought you have a little bit more to say there.
Well, I'm kind of saving my pros and cons till, you know,
Yeah, that's probably good.
I'm just trying to say my overall thoughts, which I already did.
Yeah.
All right then, Dylan, you can go. Well, what are your overall
Okay,
thoughts?
so my overall thoughts of the season, again, much like Ninjoid has already said, the fighting was incredible as always, but the thing that really interested me was, of course, the story, and there's about like 3 storylines. I'm not going to go into detail, again, no spoilers, but there's about 3 storylines this season that they go really in depth from what came before it, and man, I'm telling you, the character development that some of these characters have had this particular season was actually really incredible. Really interesting. I liked every single moment of it, and it was also just so entertaining. Like I can't really find one episode of this entire season. I don't really know a moment, a second that I wasn't entertained. I actually think that this is probably, if not my second favorite season of the show, then my favorite season of the show. Really, I have to say this, I am on kind of a hype train, so I can't really balance my hype for the show quite just yet. So even though I'm saying it's my favorite season, I don't know really where I would place it in terms of the other 5 seasons, but I'm telling you, the story is just really great this season. And if you guys haven't caught up to season 5 of Cobra Kai, I highly suggest you do. Granted, if you're not really into Cobra Kai, if you're not really into the Karate Kid, I can understand, and you're not liking the show. But one of the best things about it is really just the character development and how they treat each character. Not only the new characters, but the older characters. I've said that in other reviews as well. We actually did a review last time on Cobra Kai season. Was it season 2 through 4? Austin?
What's that?
What
Yeah.
was our last review? It was season 2 through 4, right? Our
Yeah,
last
seasons
video.
2 through 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2 through 4, absolutely awesome. You guys should go check that out. I say every single season, but the way they actually care about the characters, not just the new ones, but the old ones, is fantastic. And we get a lot of character development for a character that I swear, I know that he's supposed to be this one type of character, but I actually really enjoyed what they did. They really they really add so much depth to this character where I almost feel like I would almost like to see him become a hero at some point in the show. I don't know how it's gonna end yet because of the cliffhanger, which I'm not gonna spoil, but it was actually pretty insane. So I highly suggest if you haven't watched Cobra Kai, especially Cobra Kai season 5, give it a chance because you're not going to you're not going to you'll be sorry. Let me tell you that. Those are my overall thoughts, Diosne.
Alrighty, good shit. Good shit. Kavari comes in. Sup, Kavari? Haven't seen you yet. Just want to pop and say hello. That's perfectly fine. I think I'm gonna echo everybody on the panel. I think we're gonna do a lot of echoing each other. I thought the season was
yeah.
really good. It was definitely worth the wait. I kind of like everybody said, it kind of took what was set up in season 4, and I think it continued it very nicely. I think there was a lot of character development. The action was great, and just a lot of good payoffs to some of these storylines. Now, granted, I'm not gonna say the season was perfect because it wasn't. It had issues. Like I would say, for the most part, like some of these seasons do have problems. They're not big problems. They're just problems that are like, maybe they could have done this or
They're pretty
like,
much nitpicks.
yeah. Like I know, like when we get to our negatives, I kind of have some nitpicks, but there's one that you could maybe argue is a bigger problem than the rest. But I would say for the most part, it
I
was
know
all
what you're talking about.
solid. The first half for me, I felt was good, but it was that second half that really made me go, "Oh shit, this is getting fucking like insane and awesome." And it's just so many character moments, like so many like great scenes and just music. Everything in this season worked. Now, granted, could some storylines maybe could have benefited from maybe an extra episode or two? Sure. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad with what we got. It's like one of those things where I'm not going to cry over spilt milk because at the end of the day, it was still a very good season. Now,
Hmm.
with that being said, if I was to place it on my list, that I don't know yet. Because kind of like Dylan, it might be because it's new, maybe because it's more recent.
Yeah,
It's
you're on the
very
hype train like me.
it's very easy to put it as your number 1 or your number 2. For me, right now, because I'm still kind of like in that like phase of oh shit, like Cobra Kai season 5 just came out, it's probably my number 2. Now that could change. Maybe like once I've had more time to kind of sit on it, it might be lower or it might be higher. It just comes down to like what happens over time. Because right now, I will say the season was very good. So those are at least my initial thoughts. I was satisfied. It was very good. Now, with that being said, though, if everybody has not seen the show yet, I do recommend clicking off now. If you have seen the show, you're more than welcome to stay in the chat. If not, you're either welcome to. If you don't mind spoilers either, you can just go watch it. Or if you don't mind spoilers, just keep watching. If not, you don't have to sit. You don't have to stay. With that being said, we are going to kind of go into more spoiler territory in 3, 2, 1, and we're going to go into our positives in more detailed positives, and we're going to start with Dylan this time around. What are your positives? Okay, Nindroid, what are your positives?
Okay. All right. There's a lot. So this is now spoilers, correct?
Yes, spoilers.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that again.
Okay,
Do you
good.
know
We're
why?
at 15 minutes.
You know why I want to say that again? To all the people here who are still listening. So guys, we are gonna be spoiling. All
Yep,
right.
total spoilers here on out.
Okay. So my positives. Okay. Almost every single character in this season I actually really enjoyed. One of the biggest standouts for me is I think this is Sam's best season. Sam was always just a C-list tier character for me, besides a few there and there stuff. Like I actually really liked her in season 1. I think it was season 2 and 3 and even 4 that made me was like, like But this is back to what I want from Sam. She went through a lot of development this season, which I really enjoyed. Um, okay, can I say that to me? I think Terry Silver like steals the show
Yes.
when he's on.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
Like
he
he's
pretty
so
much does.
intimidating and all of that. It's like he will beat the living shit out of you.
Oh,
You know,
most definitely.
and I just love that intimidation, and I love how he even split up.
And I love the games that he plays with Danny's
Yeah,
head. You know
well,
what I
that's
mean?
what I was going at. He even
Yeah.
screws up LaRusso very much during the season by even convincing his own family,
Hey,
and
Jacksaw, we're talking spoilers, by the way, just to let you know.
even Miyagi though. Um, the legacy of Mr. Miyagi and all of that with the trees and all of that, the bonsai trees and the whole family being split apart. Amanda, like, I'm done. And then they finally understand, which that's another positive. Just finding out that Amanda's cousin is actually the love interest to Daniel in Karate Kid 3. Now that was shocking for I was like, oh, so okay, this isn't just some random chick, like Amanda. I'm talking about Amanda because when you first watch Karate Kid, we're like, how the hell did they meet each other? Amanda and LaRusso out of the two of them. How the hell? So now knowing kind of more about that, I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like that. Um, what else was I about to say? I loved the character development from Kreese in this season. Um, everything in episode 6, I think episode 6 and the last episode are easily the two best episodes. Probably two of the best episodes of the whole show, plain period. Um, I loved how they continued John Kreese's story, his backstory and all that from season 3. Like they really added more to his character. Um, I also really enjoyed Johnny and all of that. Like now he's a father. I
Or
just
going to be a
well,
father
he's
again.
gonna be a father. That's another thing. Which honestly, I just love that because that was one of his fears. Just accepting that he's like a father now and all, well, he's gonna be a father, and just having a kid always just was like he always drove him paranoid and all of that, which I love that he's finally overcoming his one of his greatest fears of that, which I love that. And the way he does it as well by just watching YouTube videos is funny, just funny as shit. Um, the comedy in this season, for the most part, was very well done. Um,
Actually, yeah, there's a lot of pretty good, funny moments.
what's his name? Crap. What
I
is
think
his?
my favorite has to be the couch.
I gotta figure. Yes, the couch.
Oh,
I'm
I have one that I like more than the couch.
I think I know what you're talking about, and that was awesome too.
no. Okay, so oh my god, I forget his name.
Barnes?
No, not Barnes. I'm talking about the Kenny. Yeah, Kenny.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I had to think in my head for a minute. Kenny's development in this season was also very well done. About him now being a leader, he has to learn
Oh, now I know Kenny. Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that.
Got his name
I
too.
love, I love all that. Terry talking to him. Also, the development on Tori's character is phenomenal in this season.
Yeah.
Um, Barnes, I did actually like. Now, this is how I feel like they did this perfectly in this season compared to, and I'm actually going to bring up Last Jedi again. The way that they did Barnes was good, subverting expectations. Then kind of
Versus
what
the Last
Last
Jedi
Jedi
Luke
did.
Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because Barnes gave up on karate and he's just living a normal life, being a happy man and all that. And then because of what happened, because of him helping Daniel, now he's getting called back into the fight. And he's like, let's go beat this son of a bitch when they're all drunk.
Yeah.
And that's the best scene of the
Yeah.
entire freaking.
Danny even turns to Chosen. It's like, Chosen, back me up. We can't do this, right? Chosen usually is like the man of reason, and he's like, okay, yeah, let's actually go beat him up.
I just love all of that. I love the character interaction. Also, Chosen is my man in this season. He
Oh,
is,
Chosen was
man,
great.
he is phenomenal. I loved the action fight at the end with everyone. I loved that they focused on the kids again in this season a whole lot. Um what else should I say? Trying to think of what else because there was a lot of shit that happened. Um yeah, let's talk about the whole Roro and Miguel. Oh yeah. Okay, so I loved how Johnny did it, how he made them friends basically. Love that. I just love that. I love that they fought and they finally just you know Miguel did not want Robbie to end up the way he did, basically, by punching him off the balcony and all of that. He just got flashbacks to another one of the best episodes of Cobra Kai in season 2, which I love that. And honestly, the whole thing with Miguel's father, I also loved as well, because I mean, I I think a lot of people were expecting Miguel's father to be someone special, someone with karate skills and all of that. And no, his father was legit what Carmen said, a piece of shit. Which the way that they executed that was phenomenal. So overall, I loved also the ending when Daniel beat the living shit. Well, not beat the living shit, but he did beat Terry Silver. I love that entirely. And then I loved when Chris legit faked him dying and then he just got out of jail.
Oh yeah, man,
I
that
love
was
that
great.
entire scene because that is perfect setup for the next season. So well done. Because
And what's crazy is I literally thought he was dead the entire episode.
I was I'm a huge if everyone can tell, I'm a huge villain guy. Like I love the villains because you got to have good villains in order to face your good heroes. And I want to see good villains actually freaking torturing these good characters and making them dark and all of that, which Terry Silver and John Kreese both do that. So I'm really excited to see John Kreese back in action in season 6, hopefully. So yeah, those are my positives, Austin.
All right, very nice, very nice. I'm actually gonna do my positives next, and then I'll let Dylan go. I'll kind of just like go through like what I liked and just in a like kind of in order. Like Nindroid, I really like the stuff with Miguel's dad and him and Johnny reconciling because it's one of those scenes where you could have had them talk and have dialogue and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," or like say have Miguel tell Johnny like, you're a fucking asshole for saying what you did," and Johnny be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then they reconcile. But to me, the way they did it was perfect. Miguel finally finds out his dad's a piece of shit. He calls Carmen and he's like devastated because it's like, he went all that way to basically realize, oh, my mom was right about my fucking dad. He's a piece of shit. And so you see Johnny go to Mexico to find him, and that's when Miguel realizes that Johnny really does care about him. Because nobody who doesn't care about you would go to Mexico to bring you home. And then you see them like embrace, and it's like, holy shit, that was such a powerful scene. And then just like it was perfect. You didn't need to have any words exchanged, you just got it. Like Nindroid said, Terry Silver was fantastic this season. I think he's not better than Kreese. I think Kreese just is more intimidating, and he's more of a villain than Silver. But I will say though, Terry Silver in season 5 is fucking amazing in season 5. He's very threatening, very manipulative, very intelligent. Like, that is the one thing. Kreese was intelligent, but he was more like a strategist. Meanwhile, Terry Silver is smart and more like the analytical sense. Like, they're all smart. It's fun. It's so well done. And the way he played the master manipulator in Daniel's life and literally got to a point where he tore his family apart. Like, legitimately, that's terrifying. And I will say, though, Daniel in this season was great, too. Like, honestly, this is probably, for the most part, everybody's best season. Like, Daniel goes through that arc where he basically loses everything. Like,
That's probably my favorite part of the season is Daniel's arc just losing everything because of Terry Silver. And out of all people to go to, he goes to Johnny. And Johnny knocks some sense into him. That was great.
Well, I was going to get to that. Basically, Daniel, like, Terry Silver had tore down Dan. Like, he had to break him because he wanted to show Daniel that he is so obsessed with Cobra Kai and he's willing to do anything, that Silver even shows him that he was willing to sacrifice losing his family to get rid of Cobra Kai. And then after Silver beats the shit out of him, you see Daniel like lose his confidence in a way. Like, you see him like, fuck, like, no, like, I'm done. Like, I almost lost my family and like I got my ass kicked. I can't do this anymore. And it wasn't until episode 6 which I will agree with Ninja, is easily the best episode of the season, if not one of the best episodes of the show, where you see it's like they go to Miyagi-Do, which it's closed by this point, and you have they go in this room, and it looks like the exact room that Miyagi had. And you see Daniel just like, holy shit, like, he's like awestruck, like, he's just like, holy, like, it looks like the same like when he met Miyagi, and he's like, you could tell he's like tearing up a little bit, like you could see him like get that spark back. And then all the students outside and him and Robbie finally having their one-on-one, like Daniel saying, look, I'm sorry for bringing you to prison type of thing, and Robbie's like, no, like, I understand why you did what you did, and them having their type of closure. And it's like, it worked so well, and it made you tear up. Like, to me, out of all the scenes that season, that was probably the one scene that made me tear up the most, because like, oh man, that was so good. The whole Robbie and Miguel thing too, it's like, granted, maybe they could have drawn it out a little bit longer, but I will say again, perfectly executed. The way they ended their feud was perfect. They didn't want anything to do with each other because of all the things that happened. So Johnny's like, no, you two are gonna fight. You're gonna get it out of your systems, because Johnny and Daniel talked earlier in the episode when Daniel was at his lowest. He was like, Johnny, I'm gonna kick your ass because you're being a bitch. And Johnny's like, what the fuck you doing? Like, you're drunk. Like, you're clearly not well. Like, what's going on here? And so Johnny comes to that realization, like, oh, well, maybe if they got it out of their systems, and then they're fighting, and then they go up to the balcony where there's a railing. And of course, in season 2, we all remember that Robbie kicked Miguel off the railing, and he fell and he fell and basically put him in a coma. And Miguel was going to do the same thing to Robbie until Miguel realized oh shit, what the fuck am I doing here? Like he was like, oh, what are we doing here? Like this is getting ridiculous, and they finally hash it out, and they're friends. It's like it was perfect. The execution of that again, the execution of the show, perfect. All of it was really well executed, really well done. Um, I will agree as far as like all the other characters. I think all of them go through character arcs in some weird way. Like Sam goes through. Like I agree, this is easily one of her best seasons. I'm gonna disagree with Ninjoid. I think she gets better in season 3. I agree in seasons 1 and 2 she's not that good, but from seasons 3 through 5 she's actually gotten better because she at least goes through arcs to make her relatable and also likable. And having her like kind of give up karate for a bit because she's like, I don't know what to do anymore because karate has overtaken my life to this point where now it's hurting all the relationships I have with everybody, and I have to take a break for a while and say, okay, what do I want in my life? And then she realizes, okay, I'm going to go back to karate, and I'm going to eventually patch things up with Miguel, which they do at the end of the season, which I'll bring up in a second here. But having all these characters, like, that's probably the biggest thing I will say is all the characters do something. Kreese, like Ninjoid said, Kreese was great too. You added more like character to him. Like, granted, you got that in season 3, but here you kind of have this character study of this character who, again, he's not a bad person. He's just he's a person who's went through shitty things, and he's projecting those shitty things because he wants people not to act like him, but to be better than him, because he wants to teach them, like, hey, the real world's gonna fuck you up. Like, you do not want to be like me. And it shows you just how much of a character, and you see like young John, like you see all like his past and present and future. That's like, because he's talking with a therapist in prison, and you see him just like talking with like his past, present, and future in a way, and it's like, it's such a great scene again in episode 6, and it was fucking fantastic. But it shows you just how much like Reese is as a character, as he's just great. And it's just like all of this season in terms of like the emotional moments and the comedy really hits. Chosen, again, I'm going to agree with everybody here. He was fucking great in this season. I'd say Silver and Chosen are probably the two major standouts. Everybody stood out in their own way, but the two like guys that really was like head and shoulders above the rest was Chosen and Silver. I think Chosen was very, I found his the comedy with him was great, and I thought he was very badass. Especially with the stuff with the couch where, they go into the where he goes into the, where Mike Barnes is, and
Dude, that's my favorite joke, is just the couch joke.
and then
Literally, I'm curious, how much did he spend? Did he spend the actual $1,200 or did he spend the 2,000? I want to know.
I'm guessing it was 2,000 because that's what
I'm
Mike
guessing it
Barnes
was 2,000.
Well, you would have to think he injured all of his men, and also he destroyed some things, so it's like 2,000, asshole. So, and that's another thing, Mike Barnes.
He's got to pay the hospital bills.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Barnes, too. I mean, again, like Ninjoid said, it was subversion of expectations done right.
Yes, I do agree.
It worked so well. I mean, granted, you don't see a lot of Mike Barnes in the season. In fact, you only see him for 2 episodes. But he is fucking awesome in this season. I mean, you see him just like, he's unlike a lot of these guys. He moved on from karate. He's like, look, I don't do this shit anymore. I was an asshole. And so I really think that Mike Barnes as a character, he's great because he's kind of a guy that's, Silver basically was like, hey, you help these guys, go fuck yourself. I'm going to kick your ass. And so I really think as a character, like, Mike Barnes is great. He's a badass at the end where he and Johnny team up, and just him and Johnny instantly clicking is great too. And that's another thing. Johnny also shined this season. Again, is comedic. Like, I feel like out of everybody, Johnny's the most comedic because he's the boomer, essentially. he's the guy stuck in the past. He got Carmen pregnant, so of course he has to go on the computer like he always does, and he's got to go, oh shit, what do I do? And so he realized, and then you see him kind of having to change his life around a little bit. Like he has to change the apartment, which I thought that entire scene was great, where he's like, oh
That was
shit,
hilarious.
he's got to fumigate the apartment, and so like again, every character hits. The relationship drama this season, yes, it's repetitive. I will admit that. It's like, okay, we've seen this like
Granted,
multiple
though,
times.
you have to admit this: they, unlike the last repetitive ones, in this one, we actually got a lot more character development for Sam to the point where I'm actually okay with it because we
Yes, and
focused on Sam mentally.
that's what I was gonna say, is that as much as it's repetitive, it was done really well here. Like the Sam and Miguel stuff, yes, you can argue that it's repetitive. They broke up before, like they're just doing the will they won't they thing again. But it works here because again, Miguel had to face consequences of some sort for going to Mexico because if you saw literally the episode he came back, he didn't get punished for it. Like he had to face some sort of consequence for it, and so yes, him breaking up with Sam was a consequence for Miguel going to Mexico, but it also helped develop Sam as a character because she had to realize what she wanted. And so it's one of those things where it works. And yes, the Tori and Robbie thing, did they really need to break up? Maybe, maybe not. But I will say again, it was done well because it made sense. It was like, look, you chose Cobra Kai over me. It's clear that you chose this over me. Fuck you. Like, we're done. And then they got back together, of course. As far as the Cobra Kai characters, Kenny, I will say, again, goes through a lot of character development because you see him go further down the dark side, kind of like Robbie did in season 3. Or no, seasons 3 and 4, where you see him kind of going down this dark path, and at the end, he's kind of like, oh shit, what the fuck have I done? And who have I sided myself with? And like Nindroid said, he has to grow and be a leader because he was a follower for so long that he was like, okay, if I'm gonna be a follower, and you see Silver trying to do what Kreese did, where he's trying to manipulate him into being like, oh, you're gonna be my star champion, and then Kenny's like, he buys into it and he teaches him the silver bullet, where like he punches him and he knocks the air out of him. And you see all this stuff happening, and then finally when you see at the end of season 5 where they reveal, oh, by the way, Silver cheated to win the tournament. Like, all the Cobra Kai, especially Kenny, are like, what the fuck? And that's another character that really kind of, I wouldn't say she was a standout, but she was a good character here, and that was Devin. I think Devin as a character, again, it's kind of basic. She's like, I want to be the best, so, she's kind of, first she was in Eagle Fang, and then now she was in the other one, and then she went to Cobra Kai because she wanted to train under Tori, and again, you see at the end where this was actually another good swerve or subversion of expectations, where they try to make Devin, you think, oh, they're going to train her to be the next, like, female Cobra Kai, the female-led Cobra Kai since Tori's leaving. But they were like, nah, she's staying a good guy. I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. Tori. I think Tori in this season was great too, because again, you add more layer to her character, because you see her throughout the season go, she's like kind of doubting, like, should she stay with Cobra Kai or not? And you see her, like, it's revealed that she's plotting with Kreese to, take down Silver from the inside, but then Kreese is like, forget it, because it's not going to work out. She's now, like, doubting herself, and then she realizes, well, Cobra Kai is a shitty place to be in. She tries to leave, and then the female sensei basically made her punch like concrete, and she breaks her hand. I'm like, oh shit, that was like a brutal scene. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking dark and brutal and insane. It's just like all of it works. Like, I think all these storylines are blended together really well. Again, like Ninja said, I'm trying to kind of go more along here. The comedy was done really well, just like the couch thing. I also really liked, I believe it was like episode 9, where it was revealed that Anoush was dating Louis' sister in the
Oh, that was great. And then they literally just had like a bar fight there. Oh, great.
and everyone's just laughing about it, and then you see them coming out of the bar, and they're like, and then Louis like, "Oh, I'm sorry for beating you up, man. It's just, I really care about my sister and stuff like that." I'm like, that's my guy right there, Louis.
That's exactly how it was. If you found out that your best friend was dating your sister behind your back, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you until your lights are out. But hey, at the end of the day, you're still my best friend,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And of course, my favorite scene of the entire season was in episode 10. Mike Barnes is drugged out of his mind that he kidnapped Chosen, Daniel, and Johnny in the limo, in
Oh
the
my
party
god, that was
limo.
great.
And then they're all drunk and he's high, and then he's like, "We need to go kick Silver's ass." And Daniel's like, "No, we shouldn't go kick his ass." Then Johnny's like, "Let's kick his ass." And then Daniel's like, "No, we're all drunk. Chosen, back me up." And then Chosen's like, "I got his address. Let's go kick his ass." I'm like, "Yo, that's my
Yeah.
guy, Chosen."
Dude,
Uh,
there's actually one more detail to that scene that I'm surprised none of you actually bring up, and that's the fact that they are singing before they find out that it's actually Barnes driving. They're actually singing "Eye of the Tiger," and I
yes.
swear it fits the scene so well because of how it goes between them and then everything else that's happening that night. So, oh my God, that was a brilliant song to sing there.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, there's so much to unload with this season. I'm trying, like, really hard to wrap this up because I know we've already gone 40 minutes, but there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, and I still haven't gone into my thoughts yet, so.
I'm gonna try and end this quick. The finale as a whole was great. It was like it was swerve after swerve after swerve. It's like first you think, oh my god, Chosen's dead, and it's like, oh my god, Chosen's not dead. They're like, oh, Kreese is dead. No, Kreese ain't dead. It's like, holy shit, there's so much insane stuff happening. And you know what? Season five's finale at least makes you feel good. Like you were like, oh, the good guys win. It's like it's unexpected because it's like, oh wait, it's like the middle, like it's like season five. Like they're really gonna
And
beat
then you
Cobra
see
Kai.
that cliffhanger.
Yes, and then the cliffhanger's like, oh shit, Kreese. Oh my god, the fact that Kreese had Jello, the Jello is the main character of the show. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
And
seriously, and the fact that you know what, I didn't pick it up, but earlier when we saw him, he had red Jello. No one picked that up. They teased us so well with the red Jello earlier in the season.
they did. And also, I can't believe Ninja didn't bring this up, but Stingray also had a redemption arc in a
Yeah,
sense.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Stingray, but you know who was better than Stingray in this season?
Ooh.
Who?
Penis Breath.
Well, yeah, Penis Breath was like, of course he turned on him. The build-up was there too. They did set it up really well.
Yeah.
'Cause you see
Yeah,
him, like,
and that was a twist. I was not expecting
I
him to
I
turn.
actually was not expecting that either, so I'm there like, you know what? That's my Penis Breath is the best character. I'm telling you that right now. He's the best character right next to Stingray, and also the principal to people. All
oh,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's actually all my positives. I'm gonna get to the chat real quick because I kind of feel like I've been ignoring them, and I apologize. Jaxel, what's up? It's okay with Ninjoid doing it. I still can't be sure if it's true or if he's just messing with me. I bet if I could look past season 3, I would like it still, but there's a point where you have to draw a line in the sand and fight right. No more, they push you too far with this damn season 3. He's like, he's making it all up. Interesting. I'm surprised you don't like season 3. I really liked it. Deshaun's like, what's up?
Season 3 is definitely not the best season, though, I feel. I like season 3 too, but season 4 was better.
I do agree with that, Dylan. Season 4 is better.
Shut up. No, season 3 is my favorite. Be quiet.
You're wrong. Cobra Kai season 5 for Deshaun is a 9.9 out of 10. Oh shit, that's really high, man. What's up, Deshaun? Someone died? No way. Wow, if Austin is saying it played out that way, it must be true. Yeah, it's always true, man. It's always true. What's up, David? What's up? Chosen was probably the best of the show. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Jaxo says, I keep thinking about how Jerry's putting out reaction vids, and when he's on one of Austin's shows, he's more of a tool, and he can't do it by himself. Interesting take. There's no pain in this dojo, and Jaxo says, sure. All right, Dylan.
All right, so first off, I really just want to talk about certain characters because you guys gone over pretty much the entire show, and there's only certain characters that I really want to dive down deep into. The first character I want to talk about is Chosen. Look, I don't get me wrong. In the other seasons leading up to this, when Chosen came back and he started helping Daniel, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy um them showing, how much he's changed and how much he's trying to help. But I didn't really feel like he. I felt like he was almost still kind of a villain. I didn't really see anything thing from him that really made me like the character. Like I never I never hated him, but he was just kind of there for most of the season, including season 4. I didn't feel like he was going to be a really important role in the episode. And then you get to season 5, man, and they turn Chosen into one of my favorite characters from the Cobra Kai series. Period. Just the way that he went into as basically a double agent trying to infiltrate. That scene with him and Tori, wow, what a scene! That was great to see it. And then of course, him and Terry Silver kind of having almost this rivalry after they first meet when Terry Silver, and I love the way they did it. They did it where I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was basically because Terry Silver knows a certain toast that he doesn't. He was able to figure out that he wasn't being truthful with them. And even though he was willing to give this guy the job, willing to make him his second-hand man to the biggest plan that he's had for years, that toast. He explained it all with that toast. He figured it out with that toast. And I love that scene where Chosen just takes out all the other newbie, wannabe dojo masters for Terry Silver. That was great. And then they kind of have like this rivalry throughout the rest of the show, which is just fantastic. But I'm telling you what made me like Chosen the most. And I know this really sounds stupid, but I'm a guy who likes humor. The thing that made me really like Chosen the most was just that couch scene alone. Because here's the thing. I know I'm joking about out the whole couch scene, but here he is. He thinks Danny is in trouble. He rushes in, beats all the bad guys up, and is coming to Danny's rescue. I like that. It just so happened that, yeah, probably not the best time to be a hero. And then he buys the couch, and the line "Don't get blood on my couch." Very expensive couch. I liked it. It made me really appreciate him as a character. I also really liked the whole thing with him actually possibly liking his girl and that, and then going off in the quote unquote battle after that. I know he got hurt bad. I don't think he died, but a part of me when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, is he dead? I really liked Chosen this season. He was a big point for me to actually care about. In fact, I paid more attention to him than I did Miguel and his whole father thing, which that was fantastic to see as well. But while we didn't actually have much of Robbie, and I know, you're probably looking at me like I'm crazy. Robbie was in this entire season. I mean, in terms of his character, there really wasn't much character on screen, but there was a lot of character growth from Robbie, accepting both what happened to Daniel, what happened with his father, but more importantly, what's going forward with Miguel, and them finding out. That was a fantastic scene. The next character that I really want to talk about is, of course, Kreese. Wow, I did not expect, I expected to get more of his history and everything, but I did not expect them to do the whole scene where he's basically having visions, seeing young Johnny, seeing Tori, and it really connects him with these characters. It shows that he actually really cares for his students, which something Terry Silver obviously does not, which really builds him up as a character. I really liked that entire scene, and yeah, I thought he was dead. So I thought he was dead. So that cliffhanger really took me for a surprise, which I should have known that he wasn't dead, but I thought Terry Silver, because of what happened with Barnes's well furniture store, I thought that Terry's had a inside man and killed Kreese. I thought Terry Silver was responsible for that. I was very surprised when it was discovered that he was alive. Now, the next character I want to talk about is again Scorpion. Um,
Mean Stingray?
Stingray. I keep getting confused with that because of the stupid hair. Stingray. I absolutely thought Stingray was a really interesting character to have character development, because here's the thing, Stingray really, he's a side character. He's there for jokes. I like Stingray, but I did not expect them to actually do anything with his character, especially in this season. And while he doesn't have a lot of time, the time that he does have actually really develops him as a character moving forward, and eventually helping that out the team. And his whole turn when he shows up at Danny's house, you know, uh, Daniel's wife is like, oh my God, Cobra Kai is here. What we do? I did not expect it to actually be Stingray, and I'm so glad it was. I'm so glad Stingray had that turn, and he even gets a hit on. He actually has an awesome fight scene, which again, who in the right mind thought they were ever gonna give Stingray an actually cool fight scene? I loved it. And then the next character that I really want to talk about is again Daniel LaRusso. I could talk more about Johnny, but I think we've spent so much time with Johnny already that I'll just save that for my other videos. I really liked what they did with Daniel LaRusso in this as well. He was actually a really interesting character to actually do that to. Terry Silver just touring with his mind the entire time, playing mind games until eventually he cracks, he gives up. I actually really thought the character development for Danny was probably the best. This was probably his best season in the entire show. And I love the fact they went to Johnny, and instead of fighting him, Johnny's like, dude, what you doing? Like they actually became buds. They actually became friends. And and Danny's like, okay, if you think I'm nuts, I really went wild. Which is just great to see that Danny actually goes to Johnny like a friend. That was fantastic to see. Great character development. The last character I actually want to just briefly talk on is, and I know he's the most hated character in the entire show. I hated him too, and I wouldn't say he's my favorite character now. Oh, definitely not. But I really liked the quote unquote character development that they were trying to give Danny's son. What's his name?
Anthony.
Anthony. I really enjoyed what they were doing with Anthony, because the whole rivalry between Anthony and Kenny, that was great in terms of Kenny's character. And I was really hoping from season 4 that this was going to be this change for Anthony's character as well. I really want Anthony to start to learn the right way of not just Miyagi-Do, but of how to be a better person in general, and he really does in this season, especially with that whole thing with the egg, that whole training scene with the egg, which, yeah, they definitely use that in the big Indian fight as well. Everything is set up perfectly within the season, and I really don't have a lot of flaws. I think the only flaws I can really think about is that while it
we'll
was
get
not
to that.
necessary.
Well, we'll get to those stuff when we get to our negatives.
Yeah. Well, with that said, um, yeah, that's about it for me. Those are all the characters that I really wanted to talk about.
I also forgot to mention Dimitri finally kicked Kyler's ass.
Oh, that was great too.
All
Hawk
right,
didn't do much in this season, but he was pretty good too.
we'll get into that. Shit, we spent a lot of time on the positives. That shows you just how good the season was.
Yeah.
Uh, Now let's get into our negatives. And Dylan, I'll let you start here because I know you
Yeah,
started to
because
talk about it.
I only have a few negatives that again they're not negatives, they're just nitpicks. For one thing, I know it may sound crazy, but I really wish they spent more time with Tori. Granted, what they did with the character of Sam what was fantastic, but I like Tori more than Sam. I'm sorry. I like the fact they gave Sam character development, but I wanted more Tori. And yeah, she was a big part of the season, but I wish there was more of her. I wish we saw more of her at the jail with Kreese. Um, there really wasn't enough Tori for me. There also wasn't really much with Hawk. That was another character I wish we saw more. And another thing that I kind of wish we actually saw more, and I know this is gonna sound absolutely crazy, is I kind of wish that we got to see a bit more of Kenny. I know that's gonna sound crazy because Kenny was a lot. He had a big part in this episode, in this entire season. But I just want more of him because he's a really interesting character. Because of his connection with Robbie, because of his whole rivalry that he has with Daniel LaRusso's son. I really wanted more of him as well. That was about it. That's all the negatives I can think about.
Okay. Very, very quick. Um, Nindroid, what are your
Which is good
negatives?
because we're almost done.
All right, my negatives. I feel like they should have spent one more episode on the Miguel's father arc. Trying to think of some other negative. Oh yeah, I think we should have focused a little bit more on Johnny, if I can say anything. Like Johnny's the main character, and this was more of a LaRusso season than a Lawrence season, but I still
Isn't
like
that
what
kind of
they
good
did.
thing though?
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, it should
Yeah.
kind of balance, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
That's
I know what
actually
you mean.
that's one thing that season 4 did good at. They balanced both of the two main characters, LaRusso and Lawrence. You know their stories.
Hey,
Um,
Austin, I actually gotta go. So, you guys can find me on my own channel. You guys can
Wait,
find me on these two guys' channels. See you guys, okay?
wait, Dylan, before you leave, what is your final grade?
Oh yeah, my final grade for this season. Even though I really, really want to give it a 10, I also have to remember that I am on the hype train, and I think right now, I think it's a 9. It could really be an 8. I think I'm gonna go with 9 out of 10 and try to level out my hype train, even though I really want to give the season a 10.
okay.
With
Very,
that
very
said, guys,
nice.
I got hit the road, so I'll talk to you guys later. Okay?
Peace.
Good piece.
All right, Nindroid,
Well,
continue with your negatives.
honestly, bro, I'm trying to think some other ones. It's kind of hard, honestly. Um, you know, I'm actually gonna say this that I'm in the middle with this. Can I say that?
Sure,
Can I do one in the middle?
sure.
Chosen getting stabbed right in the back. I actually was like, oh my god, did they actually kill him? I actually think like I don't know what they're gonna do with Chosen in season 6, but I think if Chosen is just gonna be a sensei and just a side character in next season with nothing really to do, then they should have just killed him off right there, and that would have been a meaningful sacrifice, you know, with him and Terry and all of that. I thought that was great, you know, but I'm in the middle of that because I don't know where that story's gonna go, you know. Um, and trying to think of what else. What else was there? Um, I think, yeah, you know what? I will actually say this as a negative. Um, you know Terry Silver's theme from Karate Kid 3?
Yes.
Um, they did not play it whatsoever in this season. They did during season 4, but not in this season, which I'm just gonna say that's a little bit of a negative for me because I also focus on the soundtracks because soundtracks can really improve a scene, and I feel like they spent a lot of time making that theme for Terry Silver back in the day, which is one of my favorite soundtracks of all media. Like even past a lot of the Star Wars soundtracks, I prefer Terry Silver's theme. Um, so just saying, like, man, what the hell? But those are just small negatives. That's all, though, Austin.
Yeah. I have a few also like small negatives. I will say I think the season could have been a little longer. Like, I'm not saying that it needed to be like 20 episodes, but it
Mhm.
really could have used an extra like maybe 3 or 5 episodes to like maybe like give some of the storylines a bit more time to like actually feel meaningful because I feel like some of the storylines only last a couple episodes and it's just like, well, what was the point of that?
Mhm.
It because like I agree, the Miguel and his father's story arc should have maybe lasted like it. That should have been more like a half a season arc, especially with how they built up that storyline. Now I don't know if it's going to come back in season 6. It wouldn't make sense to bring it back because it's like the dad doesn't know who Miguel is, so it's like just there's no real reason to go back to it because you just wrapped it up in episode 2. Like
Mhm.
the Daniel stuff where he gives up, like it just ends in like one episode. It it just felt like you could have maybe used like another episode to maybe kind of show like Daniel just like he gives up, but you could tell he doesn't want to give up. Like do something. Um, some of the characters do take a back seat this season. Like I think Hawk in particular really took a back seat.
Yeah.
Now, I understand he's not going to do not a lot here because you basically wrapped up his character in season 4, but you could have given him something to do. And like Dimitri as well, he just shows up a couple times. Like okay, I guess. The finale, I'm also like I really like the finale, and I will still say that it was still great. But the finale is also kind of problematic because yes, you bring in Kreese, but where is Cobra Kai going to incorporate into it? Because number one, nobody's going to go to Cobra Kai now because Cobra Kai's reputation's like no one's going to want to be with Cobra Kai anymore. Uh, no one likes Cobra Kai at this point. Like no one wants to be there. It's like their reputation's like destroyed. Like what are you going to do? Like I know they're gonna find some weird way to do it, but it's just I think that's just very problematic, especially when it's especially in season 5. It's like in season 6 it would make sense, but it's like season 5. It feels like they'll probably find some way, but it's just a little weird for me. But with that being said, though, I don't really think I have any more other negatives other than maybe you could have just added some more meat. Oh, this is also kind of a negative and a positive too. I think the relationship drama, while good, again, it just like I said earlier, it just felt very
Re-
repetitive.
yeah. No, I agree.
Now, I'm not gonna say it wasn't done well because it was, and it made sense. But for God's sake, can we just have like one season where like Sam and Miguel are together and they don't break up or anything? Because it's like in season 1 they broke up because it's like, oh well, we have to like resemble Karate Kid in a way, and have Miguel kind of be the Johnny and Robbie be the Daniel. And then in season 2, they get back together after they go through like pointless, not necessarily pointless, but just like very short relationships with Tori and Robbie. And then like they get back together in season 3. They're together in season 4, but then they break up in season 5. It's like then they get back together, and it's just like
Yeah, and then in season 4, when they were a thing, you didn't really get a lot from them. So it's like
no.
it just felt like, oh yeah, just a side thing. Like, oh yeah, they're now dating. We're not gonna focus on them or anything, even though we're gonna make them break up at the beginning of season 5. What?
And also the
Like
Robbie and
honestly,
Tori thing. It's like you just put them together like towards the end of season 4, and then you're gonna have them break up at the beginning of season 5. Like,
yeah, like that romance was never really built up that well, in my opinion. It was
and then like
it was
at the
well, I'm sorry. Yeah, Austin, continue.
at the beginning of season 5, they made it feel like it was established, but it's like it wasn't established. It's like they kissed in season 4. They didn't have enough time to really establish a relationship between them.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like they both cared about each other, but
Yeah.
I never saw them dating. Like, yeah, they were out to the dance and all that. And I mean, if that was their first date, okay, but I mean, they didn't go on multiple other ones after that, so you really did not develop their relationship that well, or what
No.
they even think of each other. For God's sake, you just
Like
that's part of the thing where I have to be like, all right, well, Sam and Miguel at least make sense, and even I have to admit this, even though I did not like the love triangle shit a whole lot. Robbie and Sam, at least they had development with it. Like
sure.
it got like to me, season two's biggest problem with that whole love triangle shit was that I viewed them almost like a brother and sister.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird that, oh, they have romantic feelings for each other. I wish if they actually developed that, because the idea on paper is actually not that bad.
No.
But even during season 3, Robbie has confessed, yeah, I love her and I miss her. And I'm like, see, now this is what I want. Why can't you do that to Tori? Because Tori legit, like you and Tori just feels like a rebound relationship, where you just hook up with someone because the person you want to be with is not there.
True.
Which, I mean, that might actually be true because, I mean, he still is like, oh yeah, she hasn't been responding to my texts, Sam, and all that. I'm like, oh shit. But anyway, yeah.
But like I said though, it made sense, but can we just have like one season where they don't go through relationship problems? It's just like have them be like, teenagers or something, like have Miguel and Sam go on their Laker date that they, like they kind of brought up in season 1 where they're joking around about the Laker thing, and it's like just let them do something fun, like just have them like I just want them for like a season to not like maybe have relationship troubles or like anybody. Just let the relationships grow a little bit. It's like it made sense here. They should no longer be having these types of problems. Just stop the relationship problems here. But with that being said, though, Ninjoid, what is your final grade for season 5?
My final grade for season 5 would have to be a 9 out of 10, surprisingly. It's the same score I think, well, no, I gave season 3 a 10 out of 10. Because to me, I actually don't have a lot of flaws in that. But yeah, 9 out of 10 for this. This kind of brought back, like, for me personally, I'm unlike a lot of people where I thought season 4 was really good, but not as good as season 3 or season 1. So this brought back my hype, I guess, for Cobra Kai, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed these characters a whole lot, and I'm really excited for the next season. Hopefully, next season does not let me down if it is indeed the last one.
Which we'll get into in a sec, but I'm also going to agree with you. This season's also a 9 out of 10. Like I said before, it's either my second or my third favorite season. I think it was like I've always been hyped with this show. I think the show has gotten better with each season. It it goes to show you just how good this show is because even in season 5 it still feels like fresh and new and more like fun.
Hmm.
I just the character development, all that stuff, and this season had some of the best episodes of the show. But
Hmm.
yeah, man, it was really good. It's awesome. Now,
Uh-huh.
with that being said, do you have any like real predictions on season 6? Like, do you think it is going to be the last one, or do you think it's possible that they could maybe milk it for another couple seasons? Like, what do you
No,
think?
I think they're actually going to end it next season. Because you got to look at it from not Netflix's point of view, but the showrunner's point of views, which they said that they are just telling their story, like the stories that they wrote, because they had plans for all this while they were writing, while season 2 was coming out. They had this all mapped out, the whole series. They had a plan. Plan. But anyway, I feel like next season, Kreese is actually gonna hook up with that uh, karate teacher girl. You know, the one that was working with Silver.
Yeah.
If she's still around, which I think she's not dead.
No, she's
I
not
don't
dead.
remember her dying. Yeah, I think they're gonna hook up and become kind of like partners, and they're gonna make a even more dangerous dojo. But they're not gonna get any of these kids. They're
No.
gonna get newer kids, maybe outside of the valley, possibly. So then, you know, or something like that. And I think by the end of it, the name that they decide, like Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, it's gonna be Cobra Kai. It's the name of the show. It would be stupid if they don't do it. It's like because Cobra Kai is what united them all together to face. So it's gonna be very poetic if the very thing they all faced and all of that they thought was a threat actually was like themselves and all of that. Like I see some deep shit if they work it correctly. Um and they can finally put Cobra Kai to a good name, almost like what Johnny wanted to do in the beginning, you know? So I think that would improve Johnny's character a whole lot. And I think we're going to be getting a lot more training from LaRusso's son
Yeah.
in this season, in the next one. And I think we're going to be finally getting a proper showdown between um, Kreese and not even Daniel. I think it's just going to be Kreese and Johnny.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be them two. It's either something's going to happen, they're going to fight, and I'm really intrigued to see what the hell they're going to be doing, you know? Because I have no clue. I'm just saying that's what I would do if someone just gave me this and said we don't know what to do for season 6. That would be the basic shit that I would think of immediately, you know?
Now they're gonna do the giant tournament at the end of season 6 because that's clearly what they're
That's
building
true.
up towards.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, who do you think it? So obviously there's gonna be the finals. Who do you think is gonna make the finals, and who do you think should win the final tournament of Cobra Kai?
I think they're gonna do Miguel. I
Really?
actually think I don't know for sure. I think it's either gonna be Miguel. Miguel's gonna be the male one. I think Sam is obviously gonna be the female one. You know, but Miguel is either gonna be doing it or you know what? I'll even throw in the chance of Kenny. I mean, I think Kenny could. I don't think Hawk is gonna win again
No.
because I think that was just luck, you know, that he won in season 4, and also that was just fan service to us Hawk fanboys. Which thank you, the Cobra Kai writers, because I am indeed a Hawk fanboy. But anyway, um, yeah, I think honestly Miguel's gonna win or Robbie. Now that I almost forgot. Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I think Robbie's gonna win the male one because it makes sense for him to win because you had Miguel win in season 1 to establish Cobra Kai as a thing. Hawk won in season 4 to kind of wrap up his character arc. So it feels like giving Robbie his win here would feel like it would feel like a proper send off
His
in a
send
way.
off. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're actually right. I think he is gonna win the more I think about it.
I think on the woman's side, that you could have it either or. Like I feel like Sam would make sense as more like the predictable winner. Tori would make sense if you want to kind of have her arc in season 6 be like I didn't beat Sam fairly, so I have to beat her here. If that's where they want to go it, or they could have Devin win if you want to maybe establish like, hey, she's like to kind of end her storyline. If I guess
Yeah, I don't
I I
think.
know that's kind of questionable right now, but I feel like you could do it as
Yeah,
more like a unexpected one. But that's the women's ones I don't know, but Robbie's more likely going to win the male side. I do agree that Anthony's going to be trained a bit more, and I do think Anthony and Kenny are actually going to face off during the tournament.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
or they're going to have at least some sort of blow off to their feud in some way where like it's just going to end with them. I feel like instead of them being friends, they should just be like, look, we're going to be seeing each other. Let's just kind of don't bother me. I don't bother you. Like they're
Mhm.
just peace between everybody. Um, Johnny and Kreese are gonna face off, and I think this to me should just like Kreese has to go in some way. Like I'm not saying kill him off, but I do think Johnny's gonna beat him. And as far as them taking back the name of Cobra Kai, I feel like you're onto something, but I don't think it really makes sense here because, like I said in the finale, it's like the trust in Cobra Kai is gone. So it's like if you take Cobra Kai's name already, that's gonna make your dojo look bad. But it also kind of yes, it's a bit deep if they do it, but it just I don't know. Like it's still a bit weird, I guess. Like it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't think to me at least it doesn't make sense because it's like why would you take the name of a dojo that to me doesn't really because it's like Daniel throughout this entire show has been trying to get rid of Cobra Kai. Now you want to rename, you want to be Cobra Kai. Like I don't know if Daniel would go through with that. But yeah, it does wrap up Johnny's arc, but it kind of makes Daniel a hypocrite though, because it's like why would you be the one thing that you've been fighting for the last like few years at this point? So that's just my thing. Thou shalt not Cravings Cause Suffering, thank you for coming by. I'm just glad they made this show because the Karate Kid was a class back then. This show is like an honorable tribute to it. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that they might do like do you think they should do an epilogue at the end of Cobra Kai?
No.
Really? No.
I much rather just a happy ending. Just seeing
No, I know
everyone.
that, but maybe like the epilogue could have a happy ending for everybody. So it's like,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
because if you're gonna end the show here, it's like you can't come back to it because they're basically. It's like there's not a lot you can do in season 7 because like all the conflicts are done. Like there's like no conflict anymore, so it's kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you gonna do unless you're gonna introduce new characters? But even then, it's like it doesn't make sense. So just wrap it up in season 6. Have an epilogue. Have like do some things that you maybe had brought in, like you maybe talked about in seasons 1 and 2, like Sam and Miguel go on a Laker date or something, and just have them like act like people. I want to see. Like, give Hawk and Dimitri something to do. Maybe they go on a double date or something, and you just have them be, like, nerds, and, like, the girl's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, because, like, they're nerds, and, like, they're the popular girls type of thing. Well, they're not really popular anymore, but, like, they're still like, bro, we don't know what you're talking about, but you're kind of cute, so we'll just let you talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just give me something fun, Because, like, this season was so heavy and more dark. Just, like, make the last season just more, like, fun.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the stuff with Kreese, then you got to make the Kreese stuff dark. But just make it fun. Just have Johnny be like an idiot, and then just have Daniel be like, Johnny, you can't do that. And then Johnny's like, I'm gonna do it. And then Daniel's like, no, don't do it. You got to stop. And then he's like, no. And then Johnny's like, and then Chosen's like, Johnny, you should keep doing that. And then Daniel's like, no, Chosen, you got to stop encouraging this. I'm telling him to not do it. Then Mike Barnes comes in and is like, all right, Johnny, you can keep doing it. And then he's like, all right, he said I could do it. I'll keep doing it or something. Just have it be fun, That's all I ask for. I know there was a lot of them, but let's see here. David comes in. Finally, positive Chosen, Johnny, Kreese, Miguel in the Robbie fight. The Korean Sensei and Cobra Kai is hardcore. Negatives, Luso meh. The wife also meh. Give it an A-. Okay. Yeah, Jacksaw does not like season 3, I guess. World of Love and Peacecraft, thank you for coming in. I've only seen season 1, but for an ending to this show, I'd like to see Cobra Kai redeemed as a school for good karate. It's probably where it's going to go, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
although I do think that the way they kind of went about it in this season, it's like, well, why would anybody want to come back to Cobra Kai, especially knowing that, oh, one of the senseis was literally paid a ref off to win a tournament. It's like it's not a good look. And not to mention that sensei also beat up somebody. It's like it's not a good look, but maybe they can redeem it. Maybe. Look at the movies. If there is cash to be made there, it will come back. I don't think it should. I think after this, just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing else to really tell here. It's like you did the story their way. Like, I agree, yes. If there's cash to be made, is it possible? Yes. But you can't bring back guys like LaRusso, Johnny, Kreese, Silver. Those guys, they're not. As much as I know we'd like to think that they could come back after this, if they were to maybe revisit Cobra Kai at some point, it wouldn't work. Because by that point, they're much older. I think if you're going to come back to Cobra Kai at some point, you have to focus more on the characters like Sam, Miguel, Robbie, Tori, Hawk, like those characters that are already established because they've been around long enough to where they're well-known names.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could probably get him back, but if you were to come back to Cobra Kai at some point, you would have to do it after like 10 years after the fact, because that's probably the latest you can maybe go. Because it's like even then that's too soon. So I don't think it's gonna come back unless they're gonna maybe focus more on those characters. But with that being said, though, guys, we're about an hour and a half in. I'm gonna thank everybody for coming in. Jaxlaw, Kavari, Deshaun, David. I think we had World of Love and Peace Craft, Thou Shalt Not Covet, Cravings Cause Suffering. Guys, thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to let everybody go around the panel one more time. We'll start with Ninjroid. Where can they find you at?
You guys can just find me on my own YouTube channel, Nindroid. I have some content coming out. Just check it out. Just that simple. Thank you, Austin, for having me on.
No, man, great to have you on as always. We actually got the results of the poll. 7% said that the season 5 was meh. 7% said they hated it. 28% said they haven't seen or finished it, and 57% said they loved it.
Well, we know the majority then.
Exactly. That shows you just how much Cobra Kai is really good, man. Really, really good. Yeah, next week, or no, not next week, but that I'm the Osinator. You can find me everywhere. I'm probably going to be on the Basco Scenarios channel at some point this week. We're also going to be doing a Cobra Kai stream.
Mm-hmm.
Just check me out everywhere. I'm trying to kind of rushing through this because that way I can just wrap the stream up. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. This season was a blast. Can't wait to come back and do this for Cobra Kai Season 6. More than likely next year. And with that being said, though, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Osinator, signing out. Peace.
Peace.